Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video today we are going to discuss about preference data store in Android. What is a preference data store? Preference data store is a data container in which we can save user preferences as a key value pair. So all the reading operation and the writing operation into data store is happening off of the main thread. It means it is happening in a separate thread so that it will not block the UI. Okay, in which scenario this preference data store is important in our app? Let's take one scenario. Okay, in our application we have three fields. One is username, other one is email, another one is mobile number, and user have entered all the field and they are closing the app, and after some time they are relaunching the app, but the fields are empty because these values are cleared when we are closing the application. So instead of clearing the application, we are going to give one button to the user. When tapping on that button, what we are going to do, we are going to save all of this information inside that preference container. So whenever user relaunches the application, right, after some time, we will take that information back from the preference data store and we will display it on the UI. So what will happen, even though we are closing the application, our data is there in our preference data store that we are going to get after launching the application, and we are going to display it on our user interface. Okay, now let's go to our this activity. This is my activity. In my activity we have three field: name field, email field, and mobile number field. Okay, now to enable support for preference data store, go to our application build.gradle file, add this dependency. Okay, and then we discussed, right, all of the reading and writing operation happening on a separate thread. Okay, for that we are using Kotlin coroutine. Add these two dependency as well and sync your project. Once your project completed synchronization, we are able to use preference data store in our app. Okay, get back to the UI part. Here we have three field. Okay, now we are going to give one button here. Button with going to be okay, give some 200 dp as a width. Height going to be a wrap content and text going to be save. Okay, now start to the start of parent. I'm aligning, okay, this button. End to the end of parent, and top going to be bottom of the mobile number field. Top going to be bottom of that mobile number field. Okay, and I'm going to give some margin top 20 dp. Now our button is ready. Now let's add id for this button. Save button. Okay, now get this button reference in our activity file. Find VBID of button and ID for that is save button. Okay, so what we are doing when we click on this button, what we are doing, we are getting the values from these three field: name field, email field, and mobile number field, and then we are writing that data into our container. So which is our container? I have created a separate class, data store manager. Go to that class. See, whenever our activity is initialized, right, we are creating instance for the data store manager. So what is happening inside the data store manager? As we discussed, we are going to save our data inside preference data store. So first, how to get the preference data store in our application? Okay, that is by using preference data store delegation method. This is that method. Okay, so when calling this method, it will return that instance for the data store, and we are saving it here. Okay, inside context.data store we are saving. So that preference reference is there, right? We are saving inside this data store manager. And what values we are going to save? Name we are going to save, and then we are having key for that. Email we are going to save, and this is the key for that. Phone number we are going to save, and this is the key for that. Okay, now all the operation, right, reading and writing operation, we are going to perform using this data store manager. create one instance for the data store manager, and inside our activity save it here. Okay, this is data store. When user clicking on this button, actually um, we are getting all the data from that field, and then we are going to save it under data store. Okay, data store dot save. What data we are going to save? User data. Okay, create one instance user data and then pass that instance to that method save. Okay, see here, as we discussed, all the reading and writing operation, right, happening off of the main thread. Okay, so make this function as a suspend one, and then call this method save method inside our coroutine. See here, global scope dot launch create one coroutine. Inside that coroutine I am going to call this save method. What this save method is doing, inside context.data store we are going, that context.data store we are editing. Okay, and then we are saving all the user field. What that field? User data dot name, email and phone number, where we are saving inside that container. Okay, so here when user taps on this button, we are taking all the field values, and then inside our Kotlin coroutine we are saving. Okay, now it is giving some error. Okay, we have forgot to close the tag. Okay, I'm closing the tag for now. Now I'm running the app and see how it looks like. Our app is up and running, I think. Yes, it is installing. Yes, it is launching now. See, we are going to enter username, email, and some random mobile number here. Okay, now I'm tapping on save button. Okay, I'm closing the application. Now relaunching the application. Now see what is happening. We saved whatever the values, right, inside this field, but we forgot to get back that value when relaunching the app. Okay, let's do that. Now do one thing, create a method called load data. Okay, when user launches the app again, inside this activity, when populating the UI, call this method and write that function. Okay, so this is that function. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one Kotlin coroutine, that is the separate thread. Okay, so inside the thread I am getting back my data. From where we are getting the data? From data store. Okay, so data store dot get from data store. So we are going to load our data from our data store using data store manager. Now our data store manager is ready. We are getting back our data from the data store manager as a flow of the type. Okay, now get back our original data using this method. User data is now ready. Now we are going to populate our data on our main thread, right? So this is happening on the separate thread. So if you want to touch our UI elements or modify something, we should switch back to our main thread. Okay, that's how we switch using global scope dot launch and dispatcher dot main. It means all of this operation right inside we are doing, it is relevant to UI. So we are switching from background thread to UI thread. This is our background thread. It will launch on background thread. Now it is switching from background thread to UI thread and performing all our UI operation. Let's see how it is working. So what we are doing, when I tap on save, it is saving the data into data container, that is preference data store. Whenever I relaunches the application, I am populating data back from preference data store. Okay, see our data is loaded. Now I'm modifying mobile number. Last 333 I'm entering. Okay, I'm saving it in this preference container. I'm going back. I'm launching the application again. See our data is back. Okay, so this is how preference data store is working, friends. So what we are doing here, we are adding a preference data store dependency in our app, and then we are making one separate class. In that class we are going to save instance of that preference data store. So this class will take care of writing and reading operations. So whenever we are doing writing and reading operations, definitely we should perform that operation off of the main thread. Okay, create one coroutine and call that function, and whenever you are loading the data back to UI, do not forget to switch from background thread to UI thread using dispatches.main. So thank you for watching my video, friend. I hope this video will be useful for you. Let's meet in our next session.